Hello everyone, it is I, Mark S.W. Welcome to the second episode of modelling vehicles. In the last video I showed you guys a simple but effective way of turning toy cars into more realistic cars for when you want to do model shots. So in this video I'm going to show you a second technique of building model vehicles. So if you're looking forward to this video, do give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking forward to my third video, do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. And if you'd like to see some behind the scene photos or have a shout out in my videos, then hit the join membership button. So the next technique I'm going to show you guys is recycling or reusing. So for this vehicle, I'm going to take parts from other toys and other models and put it together to make a new vehicle. What I had in mind was a tunneling vehicle or a mining vehicle, but not like the mole from Thunderbirds. Now, what I was thinking was more like a boring machine, one that's usually used for carving, the curvature of tunnels, like when they built the Channel Tunnel. So it's like a sort of a flat circle with little teeth and cutters at the front. Now for this kind of vehicle I'll also have to add some weathering. That's when you add some sort of dirty effect to give the impression that the vehicle has been used several times, and as it's been used several times it's not clean, it's not all shiny, so it will have some dirty marks on it. So to build this tunnelling vehicle I'm going to use this as the main body. It's one of the pod vehicles from the Build Your Own Thunderbird 2 model kit. It's the Domo, or restraining unit, whichever you like to call it. Now the reason I chose this one in particular is because it's got a nice flat area, so I can put my own control cabin in and my own tool. But also with the Build Your Own pod vehicles, we can take off the chassis and we're left with just the track base, and the tracks do move. See? Which is great because I like having model vehicles with tracks that actually move. If they were just stationary, it just doesn't work. But the best thing is, if you go onto eBay, you could get these track bases separately, and if you get more of them, then you can build as many tracked vehicles as you like. Plus another reason why I'm using this is because as it's detachable, it's then easier to work with, so I don't have to paint the whole model when it's all glued together, so I can just remove the tracks, put that to one side, and concentrate on building the main body of the vehicle and then painting it. Other parts from other toys I'm going to use. I found this sort of fan, you could say. I think it came from another mining vehicle, one that me and my brother had a long time ago. But if I position it like that, it would create the perfect sort of boring device. So maybe add a few spikes at the front, cover up the hole of course, and of course find a way to make it turn, because I would like to actually have the device turning. I also had this, which I made a long time ago. This came from a toy tank that had sound effects, but when I was salvaging it, I thought it makes a really good sort of control cabin. So if I just cover up the rest of the bits, including this window, because it doesn't necessarily have to have a see-through plastic, I can just add normal plastic, and then maybe when it comes to painting it, I could paint it either black, which is what most windows are, or I could paint it a metal colour to give the impression that it's a radiation shield. So when putting it all together, and of course having the tracks underneath, this is what it would roughly look like. So how cool is that? Another thing I'm going to do with the main body is remove the silver rectangles at the front. I want to try and keep the triangles though. That's a bit better. What I can do is use some cutters just to cut off the excess bit and then smooth it down again with the sander. So here we go. This does take time, but with a bit of patience, you'll get there in the end. Okay, so I've finished sanding down the parts of the domo that we don't need. I've also added in those extra bits of plastic. Hopefully you can get it in focus. So I couldn't put the side parts on the inside of it because it was a bit fiddly, so I put them on the outside to make them look like hatches and doors. I've also had to trim the side bits off a bit, just about halfway. So now it should fit on perfectly like this. So I'm going to glue it on, because I'm going to try and get it in line with this slope here. So I'm going to use super glue for this. Got to be very careful. It's always fiddly, you've got to do it quickly before the glue dries, but you can do it. So for the mining tool, what I'm going to do is cover up the holes on each side. So that side's going to have the mechanism. This side I'll attach some bits to give the illusion that it's a mining vehicle, so like little drill heads perhaps. I think their boring machines have little spinning wheels, but this is my design. So what I have to do is cut out circles to cover them up. Now, it can be tricky doing it on the plastic. That's why I've got this carving rotating tool to help me. So it's just a case of keep on doing it until you cut through. Now if it doesn't come off, you can always just use scissors, but it just helps to make a sort of guide, because cutting circles is very tricky. If necessary, I can use the sander just to smooth the edges. But don't worry if you have like excess bits, because if it's too small then it will just slot through the hole. There we go. So it will fit on like that. And I'll do another one for the other side. Here's a little tip for attaching parts without getting your fingers involved. You take a toothpick, put a bit of blue tack on the end, then attach it to the part you want to attach. And that way you're not getting your fingers involved and getting glue all over them. It's a useful method. Now to make the little teeth on the front of the drill, I'm going to use these. These are the sort of plastic spikes that you get on those balls that you put inside tumble dryers. Over the years they've worn off and detached, so I managed to collect some of them, and they make very good sort of spikes. So what I'm thinking is maybe have one in the center, and then maybe one there, one there, one there, and one there. make a sort of diamond or square. And if I've got room on the other side, so you have another 4. Okay, so I've marked out positions of where I'll be putting the teeth with pencil. And what I've done now with the spikes, I've just trimmed them down a bit so they're not too big, so they're nice and small. So I shall start with the centre. Choose, I think, a small one. So what I'll do is wait for the glue to dry, because I know people say super glue only dries in seconds, but one can never be too careful. Now obviously I want the drill to turn, and I found a solution. I've come across these 2 pipes that I've salvaged from previous model making, and the idea was to slot this one, the smaller one, into the big one, like this. This is what I found. See how snug it fits in? And it can rotate. That's just perfect, because if I just bring in like a smaller one, see how loose it is? It would mean I would have to try and come up with some sort of mechanism to prevent the drill from just sliding off completely. Whereas if I attach it to this hole, I can still remove it, but it's still secure. It's not going to slide out, unlike this one. So that's a piece of luck, because what I could have done is I could have maybe get a small motor and attach the drill to it, but I'm not an electronics expert, so I've got to find a way of doing it without electronics, manual control, you could say. So the plan is to glue this to the end. I've got to get it right in the center. That should do. And I've smoothed the ends of the pole with the sander. There we go. It's in place, so we just let that dry. And the best thing is, because it will be detachable, it means I can spray paint the drill head silver colour. Okay, so I've trimmed down the pipe that's going to hold it and sanded it out to make it a bit smoother. The idea is I'll glue it on and attach it like that. And then, in fact, let's get the track base back. See what it looks like together. And slot it in. So maybe something like that. You can always take the pipe down a bit more. But that's sort of like the final result. Well, almost the final result. There, that's a bit better. So now I can glue on the big cylinder and cover up the end so it doesn't show a hole. And then what I'll do is add some extra bits and pieces on the side of the vehicle, and maybe bits of plastic maybe to hold the tube in place, and then it will be ready for painting. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe they can't see with this in the way. Well, they'll probably have a TV screen inside. Kind of like the iron mole in the movie At the Earth's Core. So the last thing to do to the main body is to add just a few extra bits and pieces for like extra features. So what I've already done is added small strips of plastic sheets just to cover up some of the holes. And there's not much to put on this model because some of the features are already on there, but I do have a couple of ideas. These small plastic rectangles, if I put them to the side of the drill tube, it's like something to hold it in place. Use the tongs to help put it in place. Ooh, glue's dripping. I hate it when super glue drips. I apologise if you can't see it, because I need to see it as well. There, that's a bit better. So it's just a little something just to hold it in place. And then I was thinking at the back here, I found these two sort of circle thingies. So I'll attach them on sort of about here and here. Just in time, I think I was almost out of super glue. But I think that should be enough. So now all I'll do is spray paint the main body and the drill head. Of course, like I said, I'll leave the tracks out of it. That's the trouble with spray painting round and rolling objects. You have to find a way to secure them. So now the black paint is dried, I'm going to give it a spray with the white spray paint. But not fully white though. Just going to give it a little tiny spray so it has a mixture of both. Something like that. So now I'll do the drill head silver. Come here, you. Okay, so painting, I'm just going to paint what bits should be silver, so there won't be much other paint on this. I might add some colour to it later, perhaps. Now I always use Warhammer paints to do my models. I've got this paint, it's a sort of a earth shade. Apparently it's ideal for adding the weathering effect, which is good really because I want to give the impression that the tunneling vehicle is all dirty. So I don't think we need too much, so we'll just open it up. And I don't know if you can see, but it's more liquidy than thick like normal paint. And there we have a tunnelling vehicle. And I'm pretty pleased with the way it's turned out. I admit with a bit of practice I think I can get some good weathering, but with what's already on it you can tell that it's not a very clean vehicle. So the borer does turn, it's a bit stiff, but it does mean that I can remove it and then maybe put some other tool in this tube and use it as a different type of vehicle, so use it for something else as well. I do like how it's on tracks and the tracks, like I say, move. See, when the pod vehicles were made, the tracks that were used, they came from a toy tractor. I think it's called a Vicar Vigor. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. I've got no idea. But that's what was used to make the tracks for the pod vehicles. So they bought several of them. But you know what would be really good? It would be great if I could get some Caterpillar tracks that are based on the Tiger Joe tank, because there are other Jerry Anderson vehicles that use those tracks, like the Shadow Mobiles from UFO, or the Unitron tank from the Captain Scarlet episode .783. And if they were like flexible like these tracks, then that would be great. I could build a great big model with them, because these tracks are used really for smaller vehicles. The Tiger Joe tracks are used for much bigger vehicles. But for the moment, I'm proud with my tunneling machine. I hope you guys liked it as well. If you have, then do give it a thumbs up. And I've got one more video about modeling vehicles to come out, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. And don't forget to join my membership so you can get a shout out in my videos, or you get access to behind the scene photos and upcoming videos. Thanks again for watching this video, guys. Hope this has given you some ideas to make your own vehicle, and I'll see you next time. Over and out.